Back here getting you ready for Boston College. Brian Higgins, Aaron Service, and we've been talking to you offensive line all season, obviously, and it was big talk last week for a lot of reasons, but Matthew Bergeron was in there at tackle. What'd you see out of the young guy?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. You know, we always talk about that next man up mentality, and I think he really embraced that. You know, he stepped in when we needed him, and I think he did a good job for us.
There's reasons coaches are hesitant to make changes on the offensive line because of communication and cohesiveness and all that stuff that goes into it. What was it like bringing him in and I guess getting him up to speed in that part of it? Not the blocking, but just the communication and knowing where guys are.
Yeah, it does take a little while to gel with those other guys, and when you get a new guy in there, it can take a little bit for that to happen. But I mean, he's been practicing with us all season, and he's been doing a really good job. He's a really coachable kid, so I think he did really well.
You know what it's like to work your way into an offensive lineman and play as a young guy, but not as a true freshman. To see that as a true freshman, you've gone through it. What does that say about him?
Yeah, it's really remarkable, especially when you look at it from a physical aspect. You know, when I came in, I was nowhere near ready to be on the field just from a physical standpoint. You know, strength, size, things like that. But you know, he came in and he's got a really good frame, and he's a really smart guy. So you know, from that aspect, he's able to do well, and yeah, he just brings it all together.
Certainly has always looked the part, and now he's out there with you guys. And run game got cooking a little bit down the stretch of the game. What maybe happened in the fourth quarter that gave you guys a little positive vibe of what it could be this week and going forward?
Yeah, I think we really just went down to our roots, you know, being a tempo team. You know, we always talk about being the fastest team on the field, and I think we really went to that, and we were able to wear them down a little bit, and in doing that, we were able to expose the run game a little bit, so I think it was good.
And with tempo in the run game comes a little physicality. Boston College this week, we know what their deal is. They're going to line up and try to run it down your defense's throat. What does this matchup feel like year in and year out when it's these run games going back and forth at each other?
Yeah, it's always super physical. This is one of our biggest rivals every year, so everybody's always excited to play this game, and it's a game that we really want to win.
It feels like you mentioned the rivalry. This one's always kind of right on the borderline of where chippiness and all that stuff goes in. Is that fun to be involved in something like that? Where there's that little extra something out there?
Yeah, it adds a little more energy to the game, and you know, you might stay on your toes a little bit more when you're going through plays and things like that. So it's fun to be in that kind of environment.
Where are you guys at right now? You know, the possibilities are still there. You win enough games, you can still make bowl games and stuff like that. But how are you guys feeling going into the last month of the season?
Determined. You know, we've got some goals that we are still trying to hit, and we are still able to do those things. So yeah, we're definitely determined to get going.
I know some of the game days have been frustrating individually, but how have you guys, I guess, pushed through that and sort of refocused on those bigger goals?
I mean, from an O-line aspect, you know, it's just trusting your brothers and the guy next to you. You know, we're a really tight-knit group up front, and it's just knowing that I've got the back of the guys next to me and they've got mine.
All right, you look at this game, and Coach said the most physical team seems to always win the game with Boston College. And oftentimes that means the O-lines, the D-lines. How much do you put on yourself that week when you sort of think of the way Coach has framed up this game?
Yeah, it's definitely a mentality that you have to come with. And as an O-line, you know, it's really important that we come in and play with that, you know, that hard-nosed kind of attitude. So, yeah, it's really important for us up front.
All right, Aaron, enjoy it this week.
Thank you very much.
Aaron Service, we'll see him out there on Saturday.